Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome you all in this session called as Saturdays for Sustainability Learning, where every week, every Saturday, we are connecting to learn sustainability with a goal to discuss more about sustainability issues and to discuss more of the solution part. So it's not only discussing about problem, because discussing a solution, finding out a solution, co-learning, co-creating. So that is the way how we can go ahead into sustainability field and to stay ahead in this dynamic field. So this is a mastermind group where we all connect and discuss different issues and learn from each other, because a single person cannot learn all the things. But yeah, if it's a team, if it's a mastermind group, then definitely it can give more advantage. It's a synergy approach for learning. So that's all about mastermind group. We'll not go through it in detail, but just to put context. So the thought process is, when a group of individual brains are coordinated and function in harmony with a goal, with one thought, so that energy of every individual gets available to all the group, and that's the purpose that we are connecting every week, and to developing consciousness or awareness about sustainability. So these are the four outcomes that you can expect from this initiative. First is learning one new concept every week, dedicated 1 hour time to learn one new thing. Second is networking with fellow professionals, learning from people who are from different geographic, different educational backgrounds, different cultural background, and so it enriches our thought process as well. Third is career opportunities, maybe in terms of job or in terms of business opportunities. So it's open. And fourth is thought leadership, because that is the way we as a team, as a group, we can take this sustainability initiative forward. Yeah, so how we do it? So every week we connect for around 45 minutes to 1 hour, and we discuss different issues. So for today, I'll directly start with one question, which is, first is this question, which is, I would like to ask is, how much can a single person change the world? And I would like to listen to your answers. So what do you think? How much, is it very small or big, or whatever your opinion is, you can please share. So this is a question that I want to ask you all. How much can a single person change the world? What do you think? Please, you can please share your views.
Sir, I think it is about taking responsibility by
Mhm.
each of us. So if we keep on denying or keep on saying, "Ki, okay, it doesn't make a difference and like someone will do on our behalf or something like this. So it should be incorporated at very foundational level, just like somebody has said just now. So it should be, the foundation should be like this. So every drop in the ocean, it matters. So I think it should be incorporated at individual level. Sustainability should be part of our routine, or I don't know how to explain it, but
Mhm.
every single change matters
Right.
and
So,
every emission
mhm,
matters.
right. All right, Priyanka, thank you.
I think very important. Definitely, a person can change. It just required a passion, right? We
Mhm.
have a very good example like Mahatma Gandhi, right? He's the
Mhm.
Ahimsa leader. One person has his goal was Ahimsa, right? Whatever he do with the Ahimsa, right? But just his passion was very clear and passionate about that, right? To spread the Ahimsa movement, and it works very well, right? So I think very important is you should have passion. Definitely, a person can change, right?
Mhm. All right. All right. What about the other two? Yes. Ajit ji, if you can share, Sonali, your thoughts on this, please, if you can now. The question is, how much can a single person change the world? Do you think a person can have impact on the world or not? Sonali, I hope you can hear us.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you. Actually, this is a very good question because
Mhm.
I feel that like the change begins at an individual level only,
Mhm.
and rather than looking up to government or maybe industries and all, every person should has control on himself and can contribute at his level, whatever small or bigger it might be. One example I can give is like these days I see that people when they go out for buying or shopping, they reject plastic bags, or they carry paper or cloth bags. So that is that is also an initiative which a individual can take at his level. So this is one of the examples. So I think it can definitely make a sea difference. Like every drop makes a sea. So that way, every individual can make a major difference, like in this world.
Great. So I'll repeat the question if anybody would like to answer and put your thoughts. So question is, before starting today, how much can a single person can change the world? So this is a question. I hope you can see on the screen as well. If anybody would like to share your quick thoughts on this. How much can a single person change? Anybody would like to comment on this? Please, you can go ahead. We have 1 minute.
Hi, Dhananjay, Ajit here.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I think there is no limit what a person can change, but he has to believe he can. Then only he will be able to do so. Right.
Right.
So it starts with individual. Once I start doing some good practice, so my family member may follow me, my colleagues will follow me. I can influence everyone who comes in my contact. We have seen awardee of Padma awardee in last 4 5 years. Many of them are very average individuals. One lady who from South India, she started planting tree and planted hundreds and thousands of banyan trees on roadway, and she got award.
Yeah.
She did not intend to have award, but she was doing this out of her own interest, and she could have an impact on society also. So all the biggest movement they started with a single person. So one can have determination and focus on the goal. अकेला चला था जाने में मंजिल मगर लोग मिलते गए कारवां बनता गया. So that way you can definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
Dhananjay sir, I want to add one more point. Like if we add it from foundational level, so the when those like these kids, they'll go wherever they'll go, they will add these value, and it will the size will increase. For example, if they go to business or industries and they're able to take decisions there, so they will take decisions which are sustainability aligned. So it will make a big difference then. So it should start from foundation.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So why I asked this question is because this is relevant with today's discussion. Today, I'll be sharing one very interesting story with you. And it is also related to last week's discussion, that is environmental impact assessment. So I'll take you all to 100 years back, around 100 years back. So let's go back to 1920s. And at that time, the automobile industry was just beginning. Means there were many issues with automobiles, so it was not that much popular, but still the research was going on. And if I tell you that one single person had made, if you ask a question, so how big negative impact can a one person make? So in that list, this person comes at the top, and the name is Thomas Misley Jr. So it was his name. And two of the biggest tragedies of the world, or the environmental degradation of the world, can be attributed to this person. Okay, so this is one interesting story. We will see this first. I'll share the screen now, and I would request you, please note down your points. So what you can see from the story about change making, or how big an impact can a person make. Okay, so let's start. So I hope you can see the screen.
Yeah.
Perfect. So this is very interesting article, and the name is "This 1920s Inventor Sped Up Climate Change with His Chemical Creations." So his history's most dangerous inventors Okay, so let's see about it. Okay, so as you have always seen in some Hollywood movies or something like that, there is one researcher and the experiment gone wrong and the whole world is doomed. So this is a true story, and we all have been a part of it. Maybe we don't know, but we have been a part of it. So how? Let's see. So actually, this Thomas Misley Jr. he introduced to the world to both leaded gasoline and chlorofluorocarbons, and now considered these both two as the most harmful chemical compounds, right? And during his lifespan, so this is the tragedy, what we can say with the science or with the system dynamics, if we call it as a delay, because when he invented these two chemicals, they were successful at that time. The world research and scientific community found that these inventions were highly worthy and they gave him all the big awards, but they uh, impacted environment in a very negative way. And this, you might say that this might be a tragic story, he might be a genuine person, genuine scientist, but the things that he did does not uh, does not correlate to that. So let's see about his. So him in short, he was Misley Jr. May 1889. So he born, he graduated in mechanical engineering and he joined General Motors. So at that time, General Motors was researching about automobiles, and he joined the laboratory under Charles Kettering. So whose reporting manager was Charles Kettering. So what happened, if you know about gasoline engines, so knocking was a big problem over there. So knocking is a gasoline fuel, petrol fuel we are using, and knocking is uncontrolled combustion, and that's why the engine can stop suddenly, the mileage is less, at the same time the smooth running is not possible due to knocking. So it was a big problem, and all the scientists were trying to figure out the solution. Okay, so yeah, so after a lengthy study, Misley discovered that tetraethyl lead. So this was the chemical compound. This is the additive tetraethyl lead. It can be added to the gasoline in the fuel, and that can solve the knocking problem. Okay, so that increase the engine performance and speed. And with the support of General Motors, oil companies, and car manufacturers, tetraethyl lead went on to market in February 1, 1923. So it's almost 100 years back under the brand name ethyl. So General Motors and Standard Oil form Ethyl Corporation to handle the manufacturing and sales, and the Mijle become one of the board of directors over there. So what was the problem? From thousands of years, we have always been knowing that lead is a poisonous element, and right, but still they use lead, and also the name of this chemical, so that is they name as a TEL, tetraethyl lead, and the product name they only kept it as ethyl. Okay, so that was the issue. They also advertised it heavily, and in all the world, even in India or even the developing countries also, lead was added into the petrol fuel as latest as in 1990s. So we could stop it only in last couple of decades. Earlier it was used as an additive into our fuel as well. So what happened, the lead is a very dangerous poisonous chemical, poisonous element, and with the exhaust it came out, and many people, means we cannot count how many people would have died or they had different illnesses out of that. And why we can attribute this to this person or to this company is because they had known this kind of negative impacts of the tetraethyl lead. For example, in October 1924, in an experimental plant in New Jersey, 5 workers died on the spot, and 35 other experienced tremors, hallucinations, and other symptoms of lead poisoning. So they were poisoned by lead, which was added into this chemical. And also, this scientist, that is Mijley, also had been poisoned while inhaling the fumes. So he demonstrated in front of many people that how this is safe. He inhaled it, and he had to take a vacation. He had to take time off to cure himself from that, right? So still they didn't prevent it from using, and they also used the name ethyl, right? So in that way it happened, and this kind of incident that 35 people experienced this. So just imagine a scenario that people are working in an organization, in an industry, and let's say they are working in 5th floor, and somehow all the people over there just speaking some nonsense, or they are walked out of the uh, building on the terrace, and they jumped out of that. Okay, so this kind of hallucinations, this kind of madness was the outcome of the lead. If it is heavily poisoned, or in small amounts, it caused many other diseases. So most of the diseases you can attribute to this. Also, the some of the common issues with the lead poisoning was the it impacted the IQ of the people. It impacted their uh, mindset, right? So the crime rates were increased. So that is also there. Then the other, it is neurotoxin. So these are many side effects that this chemical had. Okay, and it was a scandal because they had some papers or emails regarding, they already knew how poisonous it is. Also, world community had already known, but still they somehow used it. And this is a really tragic thing that as of 2017 only produced in few places. Okay, so still it is used. Okay, it was phased out in 1970s, but still in India also we had banned it in around in 1990s, but somehow in the world it's uh, till this time also lead is added into gasoline fuel for the no to solve the knocking problem. And the second his invention we will talk about, that is chlorofluorocarbons. So this was one of the refrigerators, one of the element that is used in refrigerators, and it was unsafe to the ozone layer, right? So this was the issue, and we already knew that ozone depletion, the hole to ozone layer, and that's how all the world community got to know about it, right? uh, yeah, so this is one issue. We will not go into more details, but the overall impact was it was banned in the Montreal Protocol. So this is global. All the community, all the nations agreed that we will ban this in phased manner, and that has been done. And now the ozone depletion, so that has been improved, right? So this is just one point to demonstrate. So maybe we will not say that he is the only one uh, who was behind all this, but yeah. So this one person whose inventions were a catalyst, or which can be directly attributed to the most of the environmental damage that we had. Okay, so I'll stop this presentation now, the screen now, and I would ask you what were your points that you could observe in this. Yes, Priyanka, you want to say something?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Anybody would like to anything about it?
Dhananjay, I agree. Like, I mean, you say that person is responsible, right? But we always say necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Right,
So,
right.
like at that time when he discovered this, right, everybody appreciated. There is some solution given, right? But
Right.
yeah, that's true. But you are right. People, when this monetary benefits come, right, people forget about ethical, whether this is ethically. Once they understand, right, ethically as a group or as an individual, right, we should be able to take responsibility to see how to take back or give a clear message to the world.
Right.
I think means a person as an inventor, it's not his job is not only deliver something good, but he should have that type of ethical sense that he should educate, or once he get aware about it, right? That is now very important. If any research is being done, right, it should be not just research done and without understanding the side effect. It should not be released to the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Pawlesh. Yes. Anyone would like to add any point on this? Please, you can.
Sir, I think before doing anything, we need to see what are the impacts it is having, what are the consequences of any invention or whatever step we take, we should go for, like, we should have a broad perspective about it, how
Yeah,
it is
perfect.
impacting. Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, Priyanka. Yeah. Chandan, Riaz Ahmad, Rohit, Sonali.
Yeah, I just joined. Sorry, I was late. I'm
Okay,
not.
sure. No issues.
Just joined now.
Mhm. Okay, perfect. So I'll just take this discussion forward then. As you rightly said, yeah, I agree with Paulish that necessity is the mother of invention that we say, right? Uh, but here, the global community or the researchers here, what is important, to also check, as you rightly said, whether if it is a researcher has to check whether it is for good of the society or not, right? There has been always a discussion about there are two paradigms. One is art for art's sakes or art for society. This has been common debate in the artist or in literature, in writers. So the second part, which is art for the social benefit, so it should not be only for artist's sake. In the same way, we can attribute it to researcher for this social good that should be there, that should be encouraged. But at the same time, how to go ahead? So this is an open question for all of us. So let's say there is some researcher who has devised something, some new thing, but we don't know about it. What can be the impact on the world over time? So how to go ahead with that? So you just think about it. So how we can go ahead with that? So what should be a standard procedure? Okay.
Yeah, but like nowadays, any type of new research, right, has to be get patented or something, right? Means before you market into professional world, right? Now normal norm is everybody will try to patent it first, right? And this patent body will go through all the details check up before the release, right? Means I think now compared to old days, right, there is a lot of protocols are there in place, right? They will not just blindly just based on innovation, they will release it to the market. They will do the thorough check, right? Whether this patent has to be any other harms to the society or the nature, right?
All right. Yeah. So yes, that's there. And one of the global principle for environment for sustainability is a precautionary principle. So there are around 5 to 6 major principles in global treaties, like polluter pays principle or intergenerational equity principle. So one of them is the precautionary principle. So which talks about instead of uh, hurrying the things. So let's say we just came to know about it and just implement it. We should be the benefit of doubt should be there, but it should be for human well-being, what we can say. So if there is a doubt, we should be alert about it, instead of just saying that. Even just few years back, few decades back, uh, global community was not sure about climate change, but now with IPCC reports, latest reports, so all the scientists in the world are unanimously agreeing to the phenomenon of climate change and the anthropogenic activities that we have, the kind of impact on climate change. So yes, and as rightly said by Priyanka, so yes, impact, the probable impacts of the project that should be envisioned at the start of the project. So as, and I'm sure all of you might have thought about some things what can be done to arrest such kind of event, to avoid such kind of event. And that is the tool that we are discussing, is environmental impact assessment. So last week also we discussed that, and today I'll show you one uh, notification, that is a 2006 environmental impact assessment EIA notification by Government of India, and through which we will try to understand it, how we can prevent such kind of incidents. Okay, so let me just quickly share that with you. So as you can see on the screen, this is from Ministry of Environment and Forest at the time in 2006. It was published. This is notification where, all right. So to start with any project, that organization will require environmental clearance. So just compare it with 100 years back, where these people like General Motors or the tetraethyl lead TEL they produce. So at that time it was not there. So let's take one example that now in 2023 the same plant they have to start, right? They have to produce manufacturing of tetraethyl lead. So let's check what is the consequence and what are the steps that they have to take, and whether it will go ahead, whether it will be produced or not. So this is the first is environmental clearance is required for any kind of industry, any kind of organization that has to be set, right? And yeah, so what we will do here is I'll just read couple of important points. So they have listed some of the activities, some of the projects. So they have to take the permission from the competent authorities. Any expansion or modernization of existing project or activities, they have to take permission. And all the any change in product mix in an existing manufacturing unit included in the schedule. So we will see this schedule, the exhaustive list of different activities and what kind of approval they have to take. Okay. So they have two assessment authority. First is state level environmental impact authority, SEIAA, and the second is central level. Okay. Then categorization of the project. So if we think logically, maybe there will be central team, but it's not possible all kind of projects go to central team. Then the lead time will increase, right? So they will not be able to provide the quick support for the industries or for the approvals. So for that purpose, they have created the three categories. So category A, category B1 and category B2, through which you can go to the relevant competent authority and you can get the approval of that, right? Then what is their screening, scoping and appraisal committee? So screening is whether the EIA required or not. If here is a small, let's say shop, EIA is not required. Then if it is required, so what is the scoping, what is the extent of impact that your organization will have, and then what kind of appraisal for your submissions or for your report will be there, right? And that's how you will get environmental clearance and you will get the proper permission to operate for that particular product. Okay, so we will directly go to the list of activities and list of products in this, and we will check how the same tetraethyl lead production can be arrested. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, this is schedule list of project or activities requiring prior environmental clearance. So as we were saying, so they have created these three levels, A, B1 and B2. Okay, so and the project or activities are listed one by one. So let's say first is about mining, extraction of natural resources and power generation for a specified production capacity. So let's take one example. The first is mining of minerals. If greater than 50 hectares of mining lease area in respect to non-coal mine lease, so that will directly go to the A, means central assessing agency, okay, central appraisal team. Or greater than 150 hectares of mining lease area in respect of coal mine lease, or if it is asbestos mining, because that's again has a poisonous impact, right? And that's why it has to go to central team and other all. Okay, so this is second point. So let's check about mining only. If it is from 5 hectares to 50 hectares of mining for non-coal mine lease, that has to go to the B, and 150 to 5 to 150 hectares of mining lease area with respect to coal mine lease, so that has to go to B1. And for B2, its general condition shall apply, note mining prospecting is exempted. So this is for B2. Okay, so in this way, some of the projects, all projects had to go to A, that is the central appraisal team. Okay, and for some of them, you can see the bifurcation is there based on their level of impact. So this we can understand with one example. Why is it so? The kind of impact that it is creating on the environment and accordingly the kind of competent authority is required. So just to understand it in simple way, if I ask you as a parent, so let's say you have a child of around, let's say 16 years of age, and you give them pocket money, right? So if I ask you, you have to take two decisions. First decision is about spending, let's say 500 rupees. Okay. In that case, your child may be able to spend it with his consciousness, right? So that is permission is given. But let's say you want to purchase an item of 1 lakh rupees. So at that time, your permission will be required. Does it make sense? It's true, right?
Yeah.
For families also. So in the same way, how big the impact is, accordingly the permission of the competent authority is required. So if it is a state authority, so they can give their permission, they can appraise the proposals of lesser magnitude. But if the magnitude is bigger, then it has to go to the central authority. So in this way, as you can see, the thermal power plant is there, nuclear power plant is there. As you can see, all nuclear power projects need to go to the appraisal A, that is a central team. And in the same way, you can see primary processing is there, coal washeries are there, mineral beneficiation is there, then metallurgical industries are there. So all these, they have created a very detailed table over here. So where you have to go for environmental impact assessment, and accordingly what kind of assessment or what kind of documents are required to submit, what kind of studies that they have to prepare, that is based on this first screening phase. Okay, as you can see, I'll just slowly scroll down so that you can see. So it's manufacturing or fabrication, it maybe it's chemical fertilizers or pesticides or petrochemical compounds, right? So as you can see, all project has to go for the central team. Then some other projects like synthetic organic chemicals, where dyes are involved, distilleries, pulp and paper industry, sugar industry. Then service projects, oil and gas transportation, pipeline, hazardous chemicals, physical infrastructure. So they also require the permission, like airports, shipbreaking yards. Okay. Common hazardous waste treatment, storage and disposal facilities. So they also require this kind of assessment. Port, harbor, highways, effluent treatment plants, they will also require EIA. Solid waste management facility. The next is building construction projects. Okay. Township area development projects. So in this way, they have given a detailed list and where to go, right? And that is based on the first form 1 or form 1A, where you have to fill the details and you have to submit it. Then you will get to know that whether you have to go for EIA or not, or otherwise you can directly apply for the general environmental clearance from the competent authorities. But environmental impact assessment is not required. But if we discuss last week also, we discussed majorly on environmental impact assessment, that is EIA. To sum up it with today's example, so environmental impact assessment is required to ensure that uh, the negative impacts from the operation of the company, that should not happen. So first thing is, you have to check how big is the impact that can cause. And second thing, in environmental impact assessment EIA, let me just quickly share the format also, then we can discuss in better way. Just a minute. So that you will also get to know what is there in EIA. Yeah, generic structure of environmental impact assessment document. So first, as you can see, there should be introduction, what is the purpose, identification of project and who is the project proponent, brief description, and the scope of study. Right. So then it is a project description in detail in terms of location, the magnitude of operation, then from which departments you require approvals and all. Right. And this is a EIA. Okay. description of the environment. So this is a baseline study. So what you have to submit is what is the level of contamination. Let's say if there is air pollution or soil pollution, water pollution, noise pollution. So all these, what is the baseline data before starting of the project? Because that should be the state of environment should be accountable or responsible for that organization, right? So if they are starting any project, so maybe after the we didn't have baseline data, so at that time they can say that this land was already polluted and we haven't polluted it. So in for that purpose, and also whether to go ahead with this project in this particular area or not, whether the environment over there is capable to take this much of load of waste and resources or not. That is the question, also the basic question to start with, whether to go ahead with the permission for this industry or not. So that's why baseline data is collected. Then analysis of alternatives. So in this environmental impact assessment, you also have to give the different alternatives in terms of location, in terms of technologies, in terms of different manufacturing process if available. Then you have to also quote what is environmental monitoring program that you are going to do, additional studies, and that you have to present it in public consultation. You have to give it in print media, in local television or radio. You have to invite people. That should be open discussion, and then you have to discuss that issues and uh, with competent authorities from, let's say, district collector is there, or the committee is there, environmental assessment committee. You have to invite them, they will discuss it, and then that what is the outcome of public consultation, that also you have to attach over there. Then what are the project benefits, cost benefit analysis, environmental management plan, and then summary and conclusion, and a disclosure of consultants engaged. So this is the entire process, entire report that has to be prepared, and then only they will get the approval to start any industry. So this is just some basic details for EIA. We again reiterated, but with the sense of why it is required and how to arrest such kind of behaviors where there is a threat for most people who are living there, or maybe for the next generation as well, which happened in the case of, let's say, tetraethyl lead, and with in terms of the chlorofluorocarbons that damage the ozone layer. So I'll open this for discussion now. If you want to add anything regarding whatever we discussed, please, you can.
Hello.
Yes.
I have one question
Yeah, please.
regarding this EIA environmental impact assessment. Is it mandatory for all kind of construction activities, or do you have an exemption for certain activities, and for certain you have to get it approved? Like,
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. It's not required for all. Okay. And that's why screening is the first step, where you actually check whether EI is required or not. Okay. So they have a form 1A, which you have to fill, and there you will get to know that whether EI is required or not. Okay. So let me just share that with you as well on the screen. Okay. So let's say if you are starting with any construction work or any activity, because as you already know, you have to take permission from, let's say, pollution control board, CPCB, or central or state pollution control board, right, to start any business. So for that purpose, first is you have to identify, you have to provide all the details. So where you are, what kind of activity that you are starting, and based on that, so you have to submit this form 1A first. Okay. And yeah, so if you want to get more details on it, so where to get, that might be the question. So how you came to know, how you would know that whether EI is required or not? So Government of India has done one good work in this field actually. This is the website called as Parivesh, Parivesh, and I hope you can see this on the screen as well. So this is proactive and responsive facilitation by interactive and virtuous environmental single window hub. So this is, in short, acronym is Parivesh. where you will get all kind of applications. Let's say if you want to start any organization, any construction work, let's say, then you will get all the details from this one single site. And at the same time, you can also check where your proposal is there, in whose approval it is pending, and accordingly you can take it ahead. So I hope you can see this portal. So here you can check the manuals or the useful link are there, and which are the rules, which are the regulations which you need to follow. You can check over here. Okay. So all that is in one place only. But let's check some important points over here. So if we just check the FAQs of this, so you will get most of the details, right? Yes. So I hope you can see on the screen. So yeah, so the steps involved in the Parivesh are know your approval. So that is the first one. Then know your customer. That is mandatory common application form CAF that we have seen with form 1. So it's similar common application form, and clearance specific form mandatory. So in this form, when you fill it, you will get to know that whose approval you require. So there are different approving bodies. Like first you require environmental clearance. Then second, if your project is near to forest, then or in the forest, you will require forest clearance. If it is near to coastal region or the special economic zone, so in that way you will require the coastal regulation zone permission. And then it's wildlife clearance. So if it is let's say near to sanctuary, I guess that is the 10 kilometers. So if your area falls within the 10 kilometers of the wildlife sanctuary, then you have to take their permission as well. And the kind of permissions, they differ from project to project, and that's why the first step is to fill the common application form, and that's how you will get to know. But yeah, so to apply for new organization or to do this environmental impact assessment, so they have some approved consultants, so through which you have to take this only. So as a individual, you cannot go ahead for that. Okay. Yeah, so this is the portal. So they have given in this only track your proposal and useful links, and second NABET EIA consultant list. So this is a website where you can check who are the consultants, accredited consultants for EIA, and you can connect with them, and through which you can complete this procedure. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yes, it's opening. Somehow it's taking some time. Yeah. So I hope you can see. So this is the list of all the consultants, and maybe let's say you want to check only, let's say you're from which city, Sonali?
City?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Mumbai only. I
Okay.
reside in Thane.
Okay, perfect. So let's see. Let's check. If you want to check the consultants from Mumbai, so in this way you can just search Mumbai over here, and you will get all the consultants who are from the that region. Or somehow it's not showing. Just a minute. Okay. Is it showing? No, somehow it's not showing. Just a minute.
It is showing. I think it is showing. Name and address of EIA consultant. It is showing.
I'm not sure why it is showing Karnataka, Bangalore.
Okay. It is
So,
showing other cities maybe.
yeah.
But
What I
maybe
searched.
city-wise filter search might not be there or something like that.
No, last time I checked through it, it showed Pune. As you can see for Pune, if I checked, so it is showing only for Pune, as you can see,
Okay.
right? So the first is from Pune, second is also from Pune.
Right.
Yeah, we can check with any other city as well. So let's say if we check Nagpur. Okay, so maybe it is showing nearby if that is available. For Nagpur, it's not showing. So maybe the
It's not
consultants from Pune or the same state, they can work from that. Yeah. So this is the portal, basic portal, which is useful, and yeah. So You can track your proposals as well. Okay. We'll do one interesting activity actually now. If you have any question, please go ahead. Anything to discuss, you can.
Yes,
So I'll
sir.
do, yes.
Yeah. I think this is the 2006 manuals. No?
Yes, it's 2006. Yeah.
There is no any amendment after that. Recent
Yes.
amendment.
Yes, there is one amendment, but the issue is that is not active yet. So Government of India had notified, I guess in 2020, EIA notification. Just a minute, I'll share that as well. But the issue was there was heavy dilution of this EIA. Okay, and all the people fought for it. So they shared their strong comments and feedback to stop it. So as of now, it has not been implemented yet, but it's a serious concern. Actually, government should not allow such kind of dilution to the environmental impact assessment law, which is so important.
I have one curiosity. Just globally, there is
Mhm.
many talk is happening regarding nature-based solution,
Mhm.
targeting combination of SDG 13, 14, and 15. Okay.
Mhm.
So other countries like EU and US also
Mhm.
and Canada, they're all building internal environmental clearance guidelines based on the 13 SDG 13, 14, and 15. So
Mhm.
is there any basic parameters is also followed in this guidelines for Government of India, or is still under consideration, or is having consideration?
It's
Nature,
under consideration only. So
yeah,
as of now, it's only draft 2020, as you can see on the screen.
yeah,
So they had brought in 2020, but it was during COVID time. So that was also one of the major concern for people from environment and sustainability, because what government did, said they brought it in the COVID time.
yeah,
At that time, as we already know, that people were not able to discuss it. People were not able to, let's say, if they want to have some discussion, or if they want to have some meeting, so it was not possible. And at that time, government was had brought it forward, and they had a plan to go ahead with it with severe dilution to the AI, and that should not be happen actually. So many of the people, many of the students submitted their uh, their
yes.
concerns with government, and as of now it's only under consideration. Because what are the major dilutions, they had exempted from, like, this is the exemption of project. The project are exempted from public scrutiny. So like, people will not get to know that what kind of impact the project is having. So this is one major dilution that is there. Then second is post clearance dilution, means you will start your project work, and you will go ahead with it, and if you found guilty, then you will have penalty for that. You will be fined for that. But the environmental degradation that has happened, so that cannot be written, right? So that cannot be reversed. So that these are some of the major concerns with the EIA draft 2020. This is a post clearance compliance that I was talking about.
And which is the litigation agency? Suppose dilution happen. So
Mhm.
it's a state level litigation agency will act on it, or a central. So like NGT have,
Mhm.
yeah,
So
NGT have, yeah, yeah.
yes. So I guess for that also there is major dilution in that case, is that people will not be able to report it. So only company or the auditing authority can check it. Earlier, what is there? People can report it. Okay. So, but now with this amendment, so it should be only through that company or the auditor, they have to report it, and then only that can be fined, and also it's post clearance compliance. So it's become really difficult to conserve environment in this way. So let's see what happens for that.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so as you can see, these are serious dilutions into this. So
Yes,
let's
yes.
see if government takes it into consideration and cancels this or maybe make necessary amendments.
Yes, penalties.
Yeah, so this should not be there, right? So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
will again have the similar kind of impacts that we discussed, right? 100 years back, what Thomas Midgley and the General Motors did with tetraethyl lead. So if they starts their company now, let's take example, for 10 years nobody knew, so many of the people died, and then we came to know that okay, from this company this kind of emissions are there and which are causing harm to people, and we fine them, let's say 100 crore rupees or 1000 crore rupees, but still that violation will not reverse the lives lost, and it will not reverse the environmental degradation that has happened. So yeah, these are some of the concerns with EIA.
Hope, sir, BRSR may address this concern. Uh, the company report, BRSR
Yeah.
reporting, so
Mhm.
had to
Right.
report all the data and all. So that
Yes.
way, SEBI can address on this issue.
Yes. 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 So hopefully that should be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And one interesting thing that you can do on this Parivesh website is you can just check with any of the proposal, and you can check what was their report, what happened in public consultation. So all that you can check. Okay. So let's say if I check for environmental clearance, I'll just check. Meanwhile, if you have anything to discuss, please do share. We will discuss that. Let's take any one state. Okay, perfect. So this is tracking of proposals. So whatever details that you require, you can just put details over here. You can and then you can search. So you will get what kind of clearances were given. What was the project? So let's say this is one example. Okay, so this was a form 1 which was submitted for the appraisal. Project name is expansion of Dhooptala OC for an increase in production capacity from 1.7 metric tons per annum to 2.5 metric tons. So they had to increase the capacity. And the land area is also given. It's in Chandrapur district of Maharashtra. And as per EIA 2006, location Maharashtra, project proponent is Western Coalfields Limited. This is the proponent, this is the organization which is doing. As it comes in category A, sector is coal mining. Date of submission is 25th of May 2023. So this is recent, right? Issuing authority is Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and currently it's pending at MS for proposal withdrawal request. So this is not passed. Okay, we can check the more details over here. Okay, so all details you can see, view proposals, view documents. We will just quickly see so how all the details we can check. So let's say if we are checking the proposal, you will get all the details over here. So this is a common application form where they have to submit all the details, right? Project location. This is topo sheet. So exactly where it is located. Project activity cost, what are the benefits, how much employment is expected to be generated from this, right? Yeah, as you can see over here, so what kind of impact they have. So as per EIA notification, it is category A, so they have to submit it to the central authority for the submission. So the intent of this EIA or the clearance procedure is, so no organization can make any changes in their operations or any construction without taking formal approval, without checking all the details with the let's say what kind of impact they will have, whether they have assessed it or not, and if there is negative impact, what is the mitigation strategy that they are planning, and if mitigation strategy is also planned, so whether they have any mechanism, any monitoring mechanism to check it whether it is being followed or not. If not, what kind of action they can take, or who is responsible for that. So all they have to submit it and they have to follow it. So that's the overall idea for this. Okay, we'll just check with what kind of documents they submitted. As you can see, they have justification for the selected site, then all the details, summary of baseline. So what is the environmental condition there now? Okay, yeah, so in this way you can see all the details, and it's in one portal only. Okay, yeah, so this is all about environmental impact assessment, and I hope you have got some more details, some more clearance today about the process and why it is required. So it's open for discussion. If you have any topic to add, please. Okay, perfect then. So if you have anything to add, please you can, or we can stop this discussion now.
Nothing from my side. It's a night session. Add value learning for me because this subject is little bit new to me. It's a good. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much.
No
Yeah.
question from my side as well, sir. This topic, like I went through during first year of my PhD coursework, so it is kind of recollecting things one more time. So thank you so much, Dhananjay.
Great. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's a very interesting session. Actually, I missed half of the session, and I hope I'm ready to join next session. I'm really waiting. And
Okay,
very
sure.
interesting. And it's a very
Sure,
new.
thank you.
It's a practical and a new learning.
Okay, thank you. So again, I'll close this one question that we started with. So how much impact can a single person do? Can a single person have on the world? So this is the question that we started with, and again we will end this session with the same question. So how much impact can a single person have on the world? So please have a thought on this, and if you have joined at the late, so maybe you can check with the recording of the session. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dhananjay.